Okay, done. So as part of yesterday class, right? So we have learned about the constraints, right? Constraints. So what are the constraints available in SQL? What are those?
Not null, unique,
Not null, unique,
primary key, foreign key,
primary key, foreign key,
index,
okay, index, check,
check.
default, right? Default constants. So what is not null? So not null will be
Value should not be 0 or null
value.
value.
No, zero is also value. Okay, in database, zero is also value.
Yeah.
Okay, if there is a no values, that it means null value. So something like if you are taking int, right? So for this, if you consider this is a null value, so the value should be like this, or int or string data types. Okay, if it has a null, okay, this null is there, right? So then only we can consider this is a null value, or else like for int value, sometimes there is a blank. Okay, but thing is that whenever you go with like a zero, right? Zero is also considered a value in a database. Okay,
Yes.
so that is what not null. And also we can have a duplicates here,
Yes.
right? We can have a duplicates in a not null value. And where it comes to unique, right? So unique, what is unique means? What this constraint will do?
No duplicates.
No duplicates.
Can allow one null.
Yes, hello, null value, one null value, right? So what is the difference between primary key and unique key then?
Primary key is unique and not null. We cannot have a unique and a null value.
We cannot have not null. So sorry, we cannot have duplicate values
Duplicate and null value.
and null values. When it comes to unique, we'll allow one null value, right?
Yes.
And foreign key will allow it will make the relation between the two tables, right? Whether it is a parent and a child table. Okay. So it will make the relation between the two tables between the parent and child table. Okay. Relation between the parent and child table. Okay. And also we have seen like referential integrity, right? Referential integrity. That is what we can achieve by using the primary and foreign key. Okay. Index is nothing but what? So we will create a indexes. Okay. Indexes on a primary and a based on the unique key. Okay. Whatever the key available in the table, right? So based on that unique key, we are going to create an index on a table so that we will improve the performance of select, right? Select option. So that is how like by default, whenever you create a table by using the primary key, the cluster index will be created automatically. Got it?
Yes.
And the check constant will check the value, right?
Value.
Check contents will check the value. So if there is a default value is there, so it is like we can go with the equal operator or less than greater than operators also we can go. Okay. So but thing is that so it will check the particular value whether it is exceeding that value or whether it is lowering like based on that check, right? We will go with the inserting a data into the table. Okay, based on the check constant. Default is nothing but if you are not giving any value, we are going to give some values to the column. That is default value. Whether just like we have seen the country well, country to be like by default it is India if we are not entering anything. Right? These are the constraints which are most useful in SQL. Okay. So you have no doubts, right? Till now? We have seen how to create a constraints as well.
Yes.
And also we have seen like how if you give the duplicates, how we will get the errors. Okay, all those things we'll see. Today we are going to see functions. What is functions? Anyone can know like what is functions actually? Okay, if you go with any programming language, right? If you see with the Java, okay, so you are going to do some calculation. Suppose there is addition. Okay, so in a programming language, if you want to do, if generally if there is, if you want to do the addition of 1 plus 3, so you have to do the calculation, and you have to take the calculator and you have to do the calculation and you have to get the results. Okay, this is one time of like what is that? So you are going to calculate 1 plus 3 with the calculator and you are going to give this to the result set as a result set. But sometimes like somewhere like this operation can be performed multiple times, right? So each and every time if you are going to do the calculation on the calculator and if you give the results, so that will be like a manual process, right? So whatever the logic behind this calculation, right? So if you implement that logic in a one function or a method, and whenever you want you require that calculation, if you use that function, that method, if you are calling that method, the calculation will be done automatically. That is called functions. Okay, so whatever the logic behind that, suppose if you are calculating the 1 plus 2, right, and somewhere tomorrow you have to give like 4 plus 4, 3 plus 4. Okay, so only you have to give these values to the functions. So function will automatically calculate this and it will give you the results. Okay, but how it is going to be done in Java? Generally, it is called as a methods. Okay, so in a class there will be methods like the method they will declare like, so method name something like that. They will declare this method name and in the open brackets like this, and they will do the calculation. This is variables will be there. They will declare a variable 1 plus variable 2. Okay, and this is the result of they will store this variable value in some other variable, and this is the general programming language for any methods or functions. Method or function is the same. In Java, generally we call it as the functions or in a methods. In C++, you might have heard about the functions or something like that. And also in SQL, we call it as a functions. But in SQL, these functions, right? The default, they have some implementation. By default, they have some implementation. So based on the function name, right, it will going to be calculate the result set, is going to be calculated and give us the result set. Got it? So methods are something like we will have some inner logic. So whenever you are executing that method, whenever you are calling that method, right, so it is going to execute that inner logic and give us the results. Okay. Same thing in SQL, we will have a functions. So these functions, what did you do? Suppose like any databases, right? Any databases or anything. So aggregation is the most important thing, right? So that means like if you want to get some, you are paying a premium values. Like from last 1 year you are paying. From last 1 year you are paying. So it is like a 12 months of payment you done. So whatever like you paid till now, right? So if you want to calculate, you have to do what? You have to calculate the first month premium and second month premium like this. So instead of that, you can simply go with the sum of 12 months premium, right? Suppose for each month, the premium is 1200 something. Okay. And you want to calculate 1200 into 12 like this. Okay. Or else, like each month there is a 1200 and like this. Okay. But instead of doing like so, instead of calculating this, so for this you have to what you have to do? Like 1200 and you have to do that 200 like this. The calculation will be like happens like this. Okay, so instead of that, what we'll do, we can use some aggregate functions. Okay, aggregate function is something like that. So what are the aggregate function? We'll see first thing, and what it will do, we'll see that. Aggregate functions. Okay. So aggregate functions. So what are the aggregate functions available in the database? And then how can we work with these aggregate functions? Okay. Those things we will see. First one is we will have a count. Okay. Count is the one of the aggregate function. Second one is sum. Okay. And the other one is minimum value, and maximum value, and average. Okay. So wherever you are dealing with the numbers, or wherever you're dealing with the numbers, and if you want to calculate the aggregation of those numbers, right? So these are the mainly used aggregate functions in SQL. Okay. So suppose like for the in this case, if you want to calculate the 12 months EMI, just you have to enter some of whatever the data premium, right? Premium value, if you enter, it will calculate the total value of the debt. Okay. So like that, the aggregate functions will be work. But before in SQL, right? In SQL, wherever you are going to work with the aggregate functions, so it is always recommended to do the group by of a particular table data. Okay. So what is group by? Okay. Group by is a class, right? Group by is a class. Wherever if there is a similar data, right? It is going to be group that similar data in a one stage. Then it will do the calculation, whatever the calculation we required. Okay. So how it is going to be group by, we will see. Suppose if you take an employee table, so we have a data. Suppose so employee table, and this is employee ID. Okay. And EMP name, and salary, and some address. Okay. And other thing like phone number, something. Okay. Fine. So we have a data like 101, and there is a name, Nareen, or salary, something like the 3000, and address is some Hyderabad, and phone number is something. Okay. I'm going to enter 102. Okay. And 4000, and also Bangalore or something like that. So 40,000 I have to write 30,000, and this is what 103. 2000. That was like this is also Hyderabad. Number is something. Okay. And I'm going to enter a few more records here. $101, and the same data, and you got the some their salary change. Okay. And the location is Hyderabad, and the phone number is same 97987. Okay. And same way, like 102, we have some Narendra is the same, and he has some other salaries like 50,000. Okay. And suppose it's Bangalore, and the same phone number. Okay. So now, if you see, for we have a records in an employee table where they have a employees like 101, 102, and 103. And of course, we have a two records for the employee 101 and 102. Now, what happens is, so if you want to do some, suppose how many records available for a employee 101. So what database will do? Database will do like wherever you are going to search for the 101, right? So suppose if you are going to search for a 101 here, This for this 101, it is going to be checked whether this record is available in this table or not. Okay, it is available. So it will print 101. It will going to check and it will print the 101. Again, it is going to check the 102. So no, it is not matching. So there is no 101. And if we again, it's going to check for 103. Okay, no 103 and 101 is not matching. And again, this 101 going to check for same 101. Okay, it is matching. Again, it's going to print 101 here. Okay, and same thing, the next record is going to be checked. Okay, 102 and 101 is not matching. So that is then it will count the records 101, 102. So total 101 is two records available. Generally, whatever the table, it is not group by, right? So this is what happened. Suppose imagine it has a 10,000 records. Okay, so 10,000 records means for only 101, this 10,000 records will be going to check. Okay, and again, this 102, the 10,000 records are going to be checked again. That means if there is a like 10,000 records, and also if the 10,000 records are has to be checked, so the searching for the particular data will be like this: 10,000 into 10,000, right? So each record is going to be checked for each time, right? This is what happened, and this caused the performance issue to perform some aggregations, sums, and minimum and maximum and average valuations. That is why what SQL did, right? So they have did a group by concept. How that is the happen, right? So whenever the same record, right? If you do the group by an employee ID, right? So this employee ID values will be going to be group in a particular place. Okay, this data will be going to be, it is going to be card and it is going to be inside here like this. So now this 101 records are going to be in a database level, right? In database level, you will see these records in a one group. Okay, same time, same thing, this 102, right? This is also going to be a one group, right? So now what has happened, like whatever the similar employees, what are the same employees, those became as a group. Okay, then if you want to calculate the count of records, right? 101 is going to be checked for this value. Okay, it is going to be get the result of 101 one thing, and same that same group in the within the same group, it will check 101. Okay, it is the 101 is available, so it is going to be count as a two, and the same other it will go into check in other group as well. So 102, when the mismatches happen, right, the execution of the database will be stopped. Okay, so that is how it is not going to check with the further records. Okay, once for the first mismatch of the particular record, the execution of the database will be stopped. So that wherever it is going to check for this 101, it is checking for one check first time, second time, and also the third time. But third time it has a mismatch, so it is stop the execution. So that we will get the result of that particular data, and we will improve the performance of the execution of the query. So that is how the group by will perform. So group by is nothing but what? So wherever the similar data is available, that similar data will be going to be in a particular group. Okay. So whatever the execution, whatever the aggregation you want to perform, that is stick to the particular group only. Okay. So that you will get the data of a particular group. And whenever the mismatches happen in the other right, as mismatches happen in a particular group from the other, whenever it is switching to one group to other group, so if this mismatches happen, so then execution will be stopped. So that is the database thing. So that's why whenever you perform the aggregate functions, right, aggregate functions, it is always recommended to use the group by. Got it? Group by is nothing but what? So simple things. So you have some red balls and black balls and yellow balls in the one basket. Okay. So what we'll do if you want to pick the red balls only, you have to search for each ball, like whether it is red or not. You have to pick the ball from the basket and you have to see whether it is a red ball or whether it is white ball, whether it is a yellow ball, something like that. You have to do the manual. So instead of that, what we'll do, first you have to group the red balls from the basket in a one basket, and when you white balls in the one basket and yellow balls in a one basket. Okay. If you want to pick the red balls only, you will pick the only red ball basket, right? So you no need to bother about the other basket where it has the white and yellow basket. So that what is that? Instead of searching for each ball, you are searching for the only one particular basket or a group, then you will get the results. That is how the group by will improve the performance of the performing the aggregate functions. Clear? Any doubts here?
Is it like index? Index also does the same thing, right?
Index also does the same thing, but it will, we can't like you can perform the when you are perform the aggregate operations, right? So
Okay.
yeah, you are absolutely correct. The index will perform the same thing, but here the group by will perform more things like aggregations and all those things. Index will
Okay.
only utilize for the searching for a particular object or for a particular record, but
Okay.
here group by will also utilize to perform the aggregate things.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so that is how the group by. So whenever like someone will ask you, right? So what is the how you improve the performance of the particular query by using group by? You can explain this thing. Okay, and moreover, like this will be not in a sorting order when you do the group by. I have entered in a sorting order like 101 and 102, 103, but you have to make sure that you are doing the sorting so that it will improve more performance. That we'll see that is done by the order by, okay, order by class. So how we are going to work with this, we'll see now. Okay, suppose if I want to enter a data, if I want to get a count of records of a table, select, okay, stock from EMP. This is the just a selecting thing from the table, whatever the data you are selecting, that is the entire columns data will be selected by using this column. Okay, if I want to know what are the record counts of a table, that is something count of, it will fetch the all the record counts. We'll see. Group by will be used whenever as per the requirement only. Okay. So if you want to know the complete records of an employee table, so you don't need to do the group by, because whenever you group by, right, it will fetch for a particular group. It will fetch suppose 101 is there, right? So if you do the group by, right? So if you do the group by of the 101, it will give you the this 101 record count. Okay, so this is what, like if you want to improve the performance for the particular employee ID, you want to know that in what is the count of the particular employee ID, then the group by is works. But if you want to know entire table records, so you no need to use the group by. Okay, that is how it will perform. So it by this is give you the complete count of the records, suppose 10,000. But in this case, like if you want to know, like for 101, how many records are there, you have to do the group by on the employee. So whenever you are filtering the particular group, whenever you are filtering a particular for a particular group, so then the group by will be utilized. Fine. And if you want to know the sum of the premiums, okay, so how the syntax will be like? So just like that, select sum of AMP. So here you can write the premium or amount or whatever the column we have available. So this is give you the entire table amount, but it will not give you the one particular employees what is the premium, or particular employee what is the salaries. It will not fetch you. Okay, it will fetch you that entire organization salary. Here also the star is nothing but the entire columns. Even you can give the employee ID here. It will count the employee IDs. Got it? So same thing, that sum count, and also you can get the minimum and maximum things. select min of from EMP table. What is the minimum thing? Suppose the minimum salary person you want to get. Okay, and maximum salary for the person. So it is changing. See, when it is always not recommended to use the group by, because the requirement is changed, right? Here I want to get only from the entire organization who has the max salary, who has the minimum salary. In that case, I don't require this group by or something in the table in the query level. But in case, what is the employees when he is joined for the, like suppose he joined in 2018 and now is 2023. So for employees minimum salary, what was the time in 2018? So you have to go by the group by and you want to face the employee. Got it? So group by is utilized whenever you want to see for a particular record or particular employee. Okay, got it? Any questions? So this is the syntax. So how you work with the minimum, maximum, and sum. So here you can use the average is something like that. So you will get the average thing, right? So it will calculate the based on like you might have seen like value by sum of values, something like that, right? Number of values, sum of values by number of values, right? Something like that, right? So that is going to be average. This is the syntax for the these functions: count, sum, min, max, average. Okay. And so if you want to do a particular record, right, on a particular each record for each employees count of records, so that you have to write this. Select count of employee ID from EMP. Here you have to do the group by employee ID. Okay. And also, if you want to filter an employee, so this will give you what happened, right? This will give you the each employee's count. Suppose 101 here for 101 the count will be given to the as 2. For 102 the count will be given as 2, and for 103 the count will be given as the 1, because of with this query. So getting right. So whenever you do the group by, right, like this it will happen. Okay, so if you want to filter a particular employee, right, here it is whenever you go with the group by, right, it's always recommended to use having, okay, having employee ID is equal to some 101. So if you want to filter a data whenever you did a group by, right, it is always recommended to use the having clause. Okay, so having class will give you the filtering the data to give you the option to the filter data whenever you go by the group by, so that that employees data will be filtered based on the value you have given. Okay, any doubts here? And same thing, if you want to perform whether this employee is in a ascending or descending order, if you want to print these employees in a ascending or descending order, you have to go by the order by class of employee ID. Okay, so generally, so this is okay, fine. So generally, if you want to filter a data, which class we are going to use? If you want to
Where?
filter where, right? So this is the simple like select star from EMP where, like this we can write. So you might have get it out. So why can't we use the where here when you use
Yes.
this example, right? So there is thing like that. So having will have that. Okay, I will explain you tomorrow. You just search what is the difference between where and having tomorrow. I will explain you tomorrow. So this is for your homework. Okay, what is the difference between where and having? Okay, but as of now, just remember whenever you go by the group by, right, it's always recommended to use having. Okay, this thing you have to search in a Google, and if you are not finding anything, I will explain you tomorrow. Fine. Okay, got it? Got it or not? Okay, fine. So, fine. So, this is like whenever you go with a group by, right? So, it's always recommended to having. And also, order by class is also recommended to use to print in a sorting order. Okay, this is like a order by class is used to print the data into the sorting order. So, whether it is ascending or descending. Yes. Okay. So ascending or descending. So whenever you go with the order by, right? So order by on employee ID, right? So the default sorting order is ascending. If you are going to give the as A, S, A or something like that, that is also works. Or else, so it's also works with the sorry. AESA or so you can if you are not giving the AESA also after the order by employee ID, so it will work as a ascending order only. So then only if you mention that they specifically for the DESA, that means descending order, generally the records will be available in the descending order. Got it? So this is how we perform the aggregate functions. Can we see this? Can we practice on the database level? We'll do like how this max, mean, and average will perform and count will be performed when it is grouped by how it is prints, and when it is not grouped by how it is prints, we will see now. Have you installed SQL? Have you started practicing? No? Okay. Just do the practice, okay? So just starting the practice things, okay? So while you listening these classes, right, it will, you might have think, okay, it is very easy or something like that. But after some days, right, you might forget. You are going to forget all these things. Okay, so do the practice. So how so do more practice on this SQL. SQL is very important thing, right? So as you see, like in an ETL flow, complete ETL flow, we are always dealing with the SQLs only. So in even in interviews or very other interviews also, so they will more focus you on whether how much you like have a knowledge in a SQL side. Okay, so based on that only they will decide whether you selected for next round or the position or something like that. Okay, so it is very important working with SQL. Do more practice in SQL. Okay, the data warehouse concepts and the other ETL tools and the Cognos tool. Okay, that we can work with that. So those are the tools, right? So we can do some practice and we can learn those things. But SQL is something like you have to utilize your knowledge. Okay, fine. So, select from EMP. Okay, there is no data in EMP table. We'll see whether what does the tables we have. What are the tables? I'm going to see. Let's say start from which has data. No data here, right? So yeah, here we have some data. Okay, employee 2 has some data. Okay, so I'm going to use this data. Okay, salaries we have and some nulls we have. Fine then. Okay, so if you want to get a count of this table, right? So count of from employee to EMP2. So this will give you total 9 records of count. 9 records we are getting if you give the count. So same thing, like see, select count of what is that employee ID, right? Employee ID or something. Okay, fine. I will give a start at EMP2, and here just group by, okay, what is the column name? Employee ID or something. Employee ID, right? EMP ID. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to write a having or something like that. Just we'll try that it is possible. See, employee. And if I want to see the employee ID here, so for each employee ID, how many records are there? We'll see. This is how, like, for each group, it is going to give us the data. See, 101 having 2, and 105 having 3, and 107 is 1, and 201 is having 1. So this is how the count will be displayed of each employee. Got it? Okay. If I want to know the employee name, am I executing this? See, what is the error? Can you read it? Can you read it? Tell me, like, what is the meaning by this error?
In the employee 2 table, the employee name is invalid.
So do we,
There.
so there is not an employee name here? Is that meaning? See, do we have an employee name, right?
Yes.
I'm selecting employee name as well. So why the error is coming? Can you read the error again? Are you able to read the error? Is it visible, right?
Yes.
Yes. Tell me, like, what is this mean by? You know English, right?
In the select list.
Yes, sorry.
Whatever you have in select statement, we don't have in function group by.
Exactly.
The attribute which we defined in select.
So what we have to do then?
We have to write in group by class also, right?
Exactly, right. So whatever the error, why it is showing, right? So whenever you go by the group by, right, whatever the columns you selected, whatever the columns you selected, that should be in a group by. That is the problem with the group by, like whatever the columns, right? Whatever the columns, once it is good, how it is performed means, see, here we have did a employee ID group first thing. Okay. Then after that, so if you use the 2 columns in a group by, right? So it is going to search for the first column employee ID, and it will do the one group. Okay. Then after that, within that group, so it will do the other groups. I will explain you a bit. Suppose imagine we have a employee records here. Okay. And the data will be like 101. I'm only entering the employee IDs. Okay. 102 and 101 and 101 and 103 and 104. Okay. Something like that. And also names like Naren. And sorry, I'm going to enter country. Suppose imagine this is a country value. This is India. And this is also US or something. And this is like India, or he moved to India after, yes, okay. This is, he's moved to US or something. And this is in UK. And suppose this is in also you get. Okay, so this is how the data will be available in the table. So whenever you entered as a first, you have written like this query, and the group by will be like this. Okay, group by of employee ID, comma, country. Okay, country or something. Fine. So we have first thing is that we are doing the group by an employee ID, then it is going to be country. So first group by will be happen like this. Group by of employee ID. Okay, country will be there. So this table will be split into the employee IDs group by first. Okay, employee ID 1011, 1021, and 103 and 104. I'm going to write like this. So first, after in the group by we have an employee ID. First, it will split the data like this. So each will be grouped in like this. Okay, and this will enter, this records will be entered in one database only. Like it will split like this only. It will have some groups in the one database. Okay, for each employee ID, it is going to be split like this. This is 101, 102, 103, and this is 104. So 104, 101 data is there. So after what is doing, like employed is done by the group by. Okay. And also the next thing is country, right? So within this group by, the country will also some groups. Here for employed, we have a Indian and US two groups, right? So it will have a two groups here for the country. Like this, whatever the columns you have given, right? For each column, it will be split into the groups in the database level. First thing it will do, first column group by. Then after that, within that group by, the second column will be going to be group. So this is what? This is the US group. And this is India group. Like this. So each and every group will be split like that. Within the group, there will be again the groups will be created. Got it right? So same thing will be happen here. Whenever you do the multiple columns here, right? So first it will do the group by an employee ID. Then within that group, it will group by an employee name. And if you are adding the salary in that employee name group, also we will have a salaries group by like this. Whatever the columns you have given in the group by, right? So it will split the entire data within that group by only. Okay, so that is how it is performed. See. Got it? So here it is the name of the employee is same. So that is why it is showing you 3. But if you see like this 101 and 101, the name of the employee is Naren and here is the Raju. So first it is going to be split into the 101, right? In the 101, we have again we have a split. So with the EMP name because it is a group by name, right? So for this employee ID and this EMP name group, it will going to give you one value. So actually the employee ID is 101 having the 2 records, but when it is considering the names of the employee, it is different. So that is why the count is given different. Got it? And it is always the whenever the whatever the selected columns in the select list, right? That all columns should be in the group by. Got it? Okay. Any doubts here? Okay. Same thing like if you want to filter this 101 employee ID, right? So employee ID having employee ID equal to 101. See, I'm getting the 101 and employee name is 2 names. So that is why we are going the group by on the employee name as well. So again, it's splitting into the 2 groups. So in for each group, what are the employee ID count will be, it is provided. Got it? And also we can do the order by here. Order by like employee ID. If you give the employee ID and I'm not going to filter this data. So I will see whether this is populating in the order by or not. See, by default, null will be first priority. Okay. Null will be always a first priority. Okay. It is the lowest number in the entire table. Okay. So that is why it is print once. Like, and the second lowest one is 101 and third lowest one is 102 and 105 and 107 and 201. Got it? Okay. So this is how, if you move with the DESC, like descending order, right? So it will give you the values like this. See, first highest value and last is lowest value. Okay. So same thing, you can get the average. So minimum value, minimum of salary. So you will give that columns like this in within the functions. Okay. Max of salary and average of salary. Yes. Count we have seen, right? Even the count employee ID. Okay. And what is the other function? Sum of salary, right? From yeah. Okay, we'll see. Invalid column name employee ID. Employee ID, what is, why it is invalid? Employee 2, right? Right. Table name is correct, not correct. So salary, also the different column name. What is the column name here? Salary here. Okay. Salary. Got it? So now I'm going to go this. Okay. For entire table, you are getting the some minimum value, maximum value, average value, and a count value, and sum of salaries. If I want to see employee wise, will I get the data now? Will it going to be executed? We'll see. See, what is the header?
No, where to use function, right?
Sorry.
Where to use function here, like group class, then only it will get.
Yes, exactly. So whenever you are selecting a column without the any group by aggregate functions, right? That column should be in a group by always.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
that is the rule of the group by clause. So here, if I do the employee ID, so it will not fetch the entire tables record, entire tables minimum and maximum value. If now, whenever you did a group by, right, an employee ID, for each employee, what is the minimum and what is the maximum salaries will be fetched. See, if you are not doing the group by, so it is going to fetch the entire tables data on a particular column. Okay, so if you are using on a particular column group by, right, so for each column data, for each data, it will give you the minimum, maximum values and average values, count values, and sum values.
Here
Got it?
in output table, we are not seeing any attribute names, right? Whatever we executed, like for maximum, minimum, and all. How do
You
you
can
get
give,
that?
see, that you can give by there is a concept called alias name. Okay, so by
Okay.
using that, you can give, like, suppose your min salary is the alias name I have given. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so this will give you column names.
Good.
Got it?
Okay. Fine.
So those are the alias names. This is concept like alias name. Even in this employee table also you can give the alias name like E1. Okay, E1 or something like that. Sorry, employee table, not here. Here. E1, E2 or something like that. Okay, these are the alias names. Why these alias names are useful, right? So whenever the table name, suppose in a real-time project, right? So table name will be a used one like a fact, path, transaction, table, something like that. Okay, and you are going to join with different dim tables, right? So whenever you are going to join with these different tables, right, we have to utilize this table name to call that column from this table. Suppose if you are calling this is the employee two table, right? So if you have to call this column two, right? So employee two dot employee ID should be there sometimes, because if there is a multiple tables available in the query, right? In that case, the employee ID will be available in the mostly like two or three tables. The employee ID column will be available. In that case, database will confuse like from which table I have to get this employee ID. In that case, we have to specify from which table you have to get this employee ID. Okay, so that so you are going to use or we are going to use the alias names that we will learn in the giant. Okay, when giants, whenever we learning the giants, right? So we will look into that alias names. So but as of now, just remember we can give this alias names whatever the functions given, right? So you can give the alias names here. Also this max average, also you can give this average salary, max salary,
Okay.
something. Correct? Okay, so this is about the group by, order by, and having class, and we have seen the aggregate functions. Any doubts here?
These functions only for numerical, right? Not for strings or some.
No, strings. How can you perform average on string?
Yeah, that's what. Okay.
Yes. So these are the arithmetic functions, or we can say arithmetic. There is arithmetic operators also there. We will see that tomorrow. But these are the aggregate functions we perform on the numeric one.
Okay.
Okay. So for Narendra, we can't get the minimum value, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is how. Any other questions? But remember that, so group by will give you the, whatever the grouping thing you are doing, that value will give you, whether it is aggregate function, whatever the aggregate function you are for. And also the thing is that whatever the selected columns, that should be in a group by. And it is always recommended to use the having whenever you go by the group by. Okay. And order by class, of course, it is also important thing. That means, so here, this is in a one particular order. Of course, the group by is same. So the next thing, like, right? So 101 is going to be search in a particular group, right? So okay, it's searching for the group and it is going to be say enter into the next level of the group, right? So then the execution will be stopped. But thing is that the next value will be come for the search, like suppose 102 only. So if 102 is not in order, so in somewhere in the database, right? So even searching for that particular number also will get impact on a performance. So whenever you go by the group by, right, it's always recommended to use order by class as well. Okay, so that employee IDs will be sorted in a first order. Then after that, it is going to be group by, and then after that, it is going to be searched for the particular employee. Fine, right? So if it is not in order, right? So the grouping of this 101 will be take time. So it has to search for a 10,000 records. Suppose if it is in order, so 101 and 101 will be order, and these are in the sequence. So it will going to be fetched in the sequence level. It will going to be combined in a one group, and the next level is mismatched. So the execution will be stopped. So this is always recommended to use order by when you go by the group. Got it? Okay. So if we have no doubts, so we can close this class for today. So this is about the group by, having, order by, and aggregate functions. Any doubts? Okay, I will take it as no. Okay, thanks, Guru. Yeah, okay then. So we'll catch up tomorrow Have a nice day, guys.